I will now provide an update on the current situation of the Middle East war as a censor streamer fulfilling my duty. Al Jazeera, citing anonymous sources, reported on May 3rd that Iran's counterproposal consists of 3 stages. Iran conveyed that the US counterproposal includes a total of 3 phases. The plan aims to quickly end the war, secure guarantees to prohibit future coalition attacks against Iran, and address the Strait of Hormuz issue in the first stage. Meanwhile, discussions about Iran's nuclear program have been postponed to the second stage. The first stage involves turning the ceasefire into a complete end to hostilities across all regions, including Lebanon, within 30 days, and establishing mutual non-aggression agreements between Iran, the US, Israel, and Iran's proxy forces. Iran would also gradually reopen the Strait of Hormuz, remove the mines it has laid, and accept US assistance in mine removal. In return, the US would lift the maritime blockade, and an international organization would be established to oversee the entire process. Additionally, Iran has revised its compensation demands, describing them as new and innovative. However, it is still unclear whether this compensation clause refers to war reparations or the imposition of transit fees on ships passing through the Strait of Hormuz. The first stage also includes military withdrawal from Iran's surrounding maritime areas and ending the concentration of main forces in the region. The U.S. Institute for the Study of War interprets the term new and innovative method as likely referring to the idea of imposing transit fees. Mustafa Khamenei, the supreme leader, stated on April 31st that a new management system would be introduced in the Strait of Hormuz to bring economic benefits to Iran. In addition, an Iranian media outlet linked to Ali Shankani, the former secretary of the Supreme National Security Council, also reported on May 2nd that the new counterproposal includes a new mechanism related to the Strait of Hormuz. In other words, the imposition of transit fees is already being referred to within Iran as a new and innovative method. The second stage reportedly includes negotiations between the US and Iran on Iran's nuclear program. It appears that Iran is suggesting the possibility of discussing the nuclear issue in later stages to encourage an end to the war and the lifting of the blockade on its ports. However, there is no clear indication in this proposal that Iran has definitively promised any specific concessions regarding its nuclear program. According to an Axios report on May 2nd, citing 2 sources familiar with the proposal, if the US and Iran reach an agreement on the Strait of Hormuz issue and ending the war within the next month, Iran is willing to engage in nuclear negotiations for a month. Let's look at the details Iran has proposed. Iran has indicated it is willing to freeze uranium enrichment for 15 years, which is a much longer period than the previous proposal of up to 5 years. But this does not mean it is unconditional. After that, Iran would resume enrichment at a level of 3.6%, but promises not to stockpile enriched uranium. However, Iran has refused to dismantle its nuclear facilities. As for already enriched uranium, it would either be transferred to another country or diluted to civilian levels. The second stage involves coordinating a clear timeline and gradual dismantlement, with Iran demanding the lifting of economic sanctions in exchange for eliminating enriched uranium. The third stage reportedly aims to hold a multilateral conference for gradual peace across the entire Middle East. President Donald Trump has expressed dissatisfaction with Iran's counterproposal, stating a negative stance. Meanwhile, a media outlet affiliated with the Iranian Revolutionary Guard reported on the same day that the Iranian parliament is expected to approve a 12-point plan proposing conditions for ships to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. According to this plan, ships belonging to hostile countries may be required to pay war reparations to Iran in order to pass through the strait. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy appears to have attacked a ship in the Strait of Hormuz on May 3rd, with 1 vessel reportedly hit. This is interpreted as an attempt to maintain high maritime transport costs and oil prices to pressure the US into making concessions. Ultimately, the Maritime Trade Organization reported that several small vessels attacked a ship about 12 miles west of Sirik in the Iranian section of the Strait of Hormuz. The vessel in question is believed to be the Minahan Falcon, which is registered in Liberia and Greek-owned. The ship was heading north along the Strait of Hormuz when it was attacked and then suddenly turned south, apparently due to an attack by the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Navy. The UK Maritime Trade Organization confirmed that all crew members are safe. Hezbollah continued its attacks targeting Israeli forces in southern Lebanon. Hezbollah carried out a total of 11 attacks against Israeli forces, marking the highest number of attacks by Hezbollah against Israeli forces since the ceasefire took effect on April 16th. In particular, Hezbollah has been continuously targeting Israeli forces operating in the Biada area in southwestern Lebanon, with ongoing drone attacks. This area is a strategic point located on the main coastal highway leading to Tyre. The drones used by Hezbollah are especially difficult to intercept and are capable of striking targets with high precision. Meanwhile, the Israeli military announced that it had detected and intercepted Hezbollah's rockets and drones launched at its forces in southern Lebanon, and reported that there were no casualties. It was also confirmed that none of Hezbollah's Hezbollah's projectiles crossed into northern Israel. Two senior Hezbollah officials told Reuters on May 3rd that since the Israeli military began operations in Lebanon on March 2nd, 1,000 Hezbollah fighters have been killed. Previously, the Israeli military stated that as of April 19th, more than 1,800 Hezbollah fighters had been killed during operations in Lebanon. However, Hezbollah's media office denied these casualty estimates, claiming that no official figures have been compiled regarding the ongoing conflict. If there are further updates, I will produce and upload another video. This concludes the video. Thank you.
Ja.